Welcome back, YouTube. It's your girl Yoga by Biola, here with a new YouTube video. Welcome back, fam. If you are new here, this is your first time visiting my channel or seeing my face, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join our family. It would mean the world to me to have you here. Let's go ahead and get back into the video. As you know, in my last few videos, I've been sharing a little bit about how I want to connect with y'all a bit more beyond the yoga mat. So I'm excited to chat, one-on-one with you here today. We are going to actually be exploring a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. 4 ways to nullify the strong black woman narrative. Some of you may be asking, well, what's the strong black woman narrative? The strong black woman narrative actually correlates perfectly with the adultification of young women of color or young black girls, which basically says that at a young age, African American girls in particular are perceived as less innocent than their non-POC counterparts. So they are held to really harsh restrictions and harsher standards than not women of color. This perpetuates as they get older because it goes hand in hand with this stereotype that women of color, or black women specifically, can handle more pain, can take on more stress, can handle more pressure, and basically this idea that we are emotionless or that doesn't hold space for us to be weak or vulnerable. This also goes hand in hand with the narrative about the loud black woman or the angry black woman. The history that this pulls from actually stems from the deterioration of the black family, which actually started to take place during slavery with the Willie Lynch letter. If you don't know what the Willie Lynch letter is, highly recommend you Google that and do your research as to what that is, because it plays out in the African American family still today. If you travel along the line of history, kind of in the 60s and 70s when the crack epidemic started to come about and welfare started to be implanted and almost replace the income of the black husband or the black male, it naturally put black women as the forefront of the household. And this stereotype or this narrative continues to play out today, and it's a really harmful stereotype because it puts pressure on African American women like myself to endure so much more than we need to. And for me specifically, I've been really committed to breaking away from this stereotype and this narrative and owning my vulnerability, my femininity, my weaknesses, my shadow, so that I'm not perceived as this person who can take on everything, and so I don't put the pressure on myself to do so. So I wanted to speak specifically to women of color and black women today who really identify with this narrative and are just like, I'm over it, honey. Me too, boo. Me too. So today I wanted to cover 4 ways to begin to nullify this narrative of the strong black woman and begin to recreate or rewrite the narrative that you want your life and your body to tell. Number 1. Before we get into that, can we just talk about my kimono? I'm getting sidetracked, I know, but she's cute, she's fabulous. Number 1, we do not have anything to prove. Ooh. Can I get an amen? When it comes to this narrative of the strong black woman, we almost begin to take it on, and we feel like we need to prove something to everybody who we come across, and We feel like we need to prove something in the home, as a partner, as a friend, in the workplace. As soon as I really released that load off of my back of feeling like I need to prove something to somebody, y'all, I just was like, I can breathe, honey. I can breathe. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. None of us do, for real. And I know how easy it is to fall into that cycle when you are really working to ultimately get ahead in life. When we put that baggage on our backs that we have to prove something, it does the same thing. It perpetuates that strong black woman narrative because it doesn't give us space to have a myriad or varied emotions. We can only have like one limited set of emotions, and that is not a true human experience. No human is going to only exist with only a certain set of emotions that don't allow them permission to be vulnerable, to be weak, to be soft, to feel stress or anxiety, to feel pain. Y'all, that's not realistic, and we don't need to do that to ourselves because we are human and we are living souls having a human experience just like anybody else. So know that you have nothing to prove. Number 2, we don't have to please everybody. Woo! I'm gonna say it again. We don't have to please everybody, because the strong black woman narrative can actually sometimes be put on us by our own families, because we've been made or put in the position to care for the family in a certain way and take the load or brunt of the family. So we feel like we need to please everyone, and when that happens, it doesn't leave any space for you to prioritize yourself. Really beginning to receive that I am not going to please everyone just allowed me to take off this superwoman cape of trying to please everybody all the damn time. So if our mothers or our fathers made us the one to cook and clean or take care of the household and things like that, and you're doing all of these duties very, very young, you kind of develop this people-pleasing behavior or tendency, and you feel like you need to nurture and take care of everyone all of the time, and you put yourself last, way at the end of the list. And that's the narrative that we are going to stop today. Which leads me to number 3. We gotta prioritize our needs, y'all. We gotta prioritize our needs. And that notion of the strong black woman, she is seen as the head of the household. She's playing the role of both partners, right? And so beginning to allow yourself to receive that you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to do it all by yourself. And more importantly, it's okay to put someone else's needs on the back end to prioritize yourself first. Number 4, create healthy boundaries. Create healthy boundaries. Create healthy boundaries. Create healthy boundaries. Create. Okay. Creating those healthy boundaries go hand in hand with prioritizing your needs. The more you prioritize your needs, the more you're going to naturally flow into creating healthy boundaries for yourself. Because you're going to realize that your needs come first, not the needs of others. And you're not doing that from a place that's trying to harm anybody. You're doing that in a place of loving yourself first, which is extremely important. Not because you want to do harm to anyone else, but because you are loving yourself first, and there's nothing wrong with that. The strong black woman narrative almost makes us believe that loving ourselves first is a bad thing. And that is completely internalized oppression mixed in with generational trauma and systematic oppression. Creating healthy boundaries go hand in hand with creating the reality that we want to exist in, as opposed to falling victim to the reality that someone else has created for you. And that's what tends to happen with this damn black strong woman narrative. It has certain results. So beginning to realize I don't want those results because I want more liberation and more expression in my being. So moving to the other side and beginning to create your reality that includes healthy boundaries, that includes prioritizing your needs, that includes not pleasing everyone, and that includes not having to prove a damn thing to nobody. I hope this video spoke to y'all today. If so, let me know in the comments below. I just rhymed. Let me know in the comments below. Per usual, y'all, I want to hear from you. So please follow your girl on the gram at Yoga by Biola. I will be back very soon on the mat with a new video. In the meantime, take care of you, love you, and yes, y'all, I'll see you really soon.